Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi,
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everyone. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Why don't we start this evening by offering a good Shabbos to everyone, a Shabbat Shalom, to everyone, a big wave, welcoming families and friends, and certainly Stanley and the Bennett family as we enter into Parshat Bo and the Bar Mitzvah weekend of Stanley. Looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful 24 hours or 25 hours is the length of Shabbat, and we are well into Parshat Bo, Stanley's Bar Mitzvah portion. And so we are going to be on here, Stanley, for the next 3 or 4 hours, and you're going to be leading us through the whole thing. Just kidding, just kidding. No, we're here. We're going to start off with Lechi Lach, which our cantor will start us off this evening. And then we will begin our service with Shalom Aleichem, but we'll start off with Lechi Lach. I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone and don't take it personal. It's just a way to make sure that we can hear the cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Mazel tov, Stanley, Bennett's. Unmute myself. You did say that, didn't you? Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Mazel tov, Bennett's. We begin the service. I asked the rabbi to begin the service tonight with Lechi Lach. For our B'nai Mitzvahs, we tell them this isn't the end of a cycle. This is a beginning. And we found that Lechi Lach really says what the journey looks like. So, Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will test you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach. Lechi Lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech Lecha, and all shall know your name. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi Lach, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi Lach.
As we start our service on page 16 for Shalom Aleichem, I just wanted to point out that one of the things that over the past several months, as we've been on these screens, I want Stanley, just take a minute and look. Something special has happened this evening that the vast majority of folks here have their camera on. And that's not always the case. And I believe it's because everyone wants you to see their face and know that your community is here for you, even in this crazy time, even in this very different time. Your whole community is here showing their face, panim, a face, showing their presence here, letting you know that you are loved, cared about, and we're so excited as you enter into your next phase of Jewish learning. So when we sing Shalom Aleichem, we are welcoming everyone here as we see Panim Chadashim, new faces, old faces, and some new faces on old faces. It's an old joke. Okay, great.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Ni Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn our attention to page 38 with Lecha Dodi as we greet the Sabbath bride, and let's all smile. I can see everyone's face. This is a unique thing in that usually I'm looking out at the audience and I can see everyone and everyone cannot see each other, but you can see each other. So you can see if you're smiling or not. It really makes a difference. I was on a board meeting the other day and they took a picture, and when they asked everyone to smile, the entire screen changed. So can I get at least a few smiles throughout this whole thing so Stanley sees not only is his community here, but they're excited and ready to participate in his new endeavor. So let's all get a big smile. I want to see big teeth, and that way we can really spread the energy. Lecha Dodi, page 38.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hameuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. We rise. Bo'oi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'sochala, toch emunei am segula, bo'oi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
We turn to page 50 as we enter into our formal prayer and transition from Kabbalat Shabbat, receiving of the Sabbath, to the evening prayer. Page 50.
El Chai v'kayam, Tamidim lo chaleinu leolam v'hed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'Aravim.
With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgments.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha avta Torah u'mitzvot u'kim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach be'ukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha Uva-mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki chem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ki chem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai. Ohev Amo Yisrael.
At this point, we turn now to page 54. I'd like to invite the Bennett family to unmute themselves as we are led for the first time as Bar Mitzvah Stanley as he leads us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'chayu hadavarim ha'ele, asher anohi mitzavcha hayom alavavecha veshinantam lavanecha vedibarta bam veshivtecha beveitecha uletecha baderech ushoptecha ufumecha ukshartam leot al yodecha vechayu l'totefot ben einecha Uktavtam al mizuzot beiteha u'visharecha.
The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the corners of their garments throughout their generation, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclinations of your heart, or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus you will be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God."
Rabbi, what page is the on?
Sure. Lamanti Skaru, you can find in the middle of the paragraph on page 58.
Leman tizkaru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotav v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotziti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiot lahem le'elachim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yasher Koach to you. We now turn to Vishamru, which can be found on page 64. Please rise.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz veshamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We turn our attention now to the Ma'ariv Amida for the Sabbath, a time for silent prayer, silent thought, silent meditation. Our cantor will lead us in an ancient formula in our tradition on how to prepare for the Shemona Esrei.
Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Anananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
Grant abundant and lasting peace to your people and to all who dwell on earth. For you are the supreme sovereign of all peace. May it please you to bless your people Israel in every season and in every hour with your peace. Praised are you, O Lord, bestower of peace upon your people Israel.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Yasher Koach to you, Cantor. Yasher Koach to the Bennett family. We now offer prayers for healing spiritually, mentally, physically. It's become our tradition here. If you could please put the names of those who are in need of healing in the chat so that the community can offer prayers for everyone. Refuah Shlema, Refuah to Nefesh, Refuah to Guf, a complete and total healing for those in need. And we all say Amen.
Mishaberach Avotenu Makor Habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu makor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May God send a speedy recovery for those in need, and we all say Amen. Just a few words of Torah. This week's Torah portion is, of course, Stanley knows is Parshat Bo, and we're excited to hear his words of Torah tomorrow. And just a reminder, for those who will be joining us tomorrow, we will be streaming live from the sanctuary at 11 o'clock, and the information has been sent out to the community. So please just be aware it's different than this room. So just be aware of that, but we're looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful morning with Stanley, the Bennett family, friends, and the community. I've always enjoyed the months of November, December, and January. Growing up there, it was always kind of like a festive season. There was a sense of festivity. The weather would cool down. There was joyful Thanksgiving, my favorite Jewish holiday. Family would come in from out of town. Hanukkah would arrive at this time with its lights and, of course, its presents. And there was always winter break. And of course, there was the wonderful smells of the fireplace. I remember that when you step outside in the cool, crisp air, and there was the smell of the fire or something cooking outside. And you can actually get a sense of that sometimes here in Santa Clarita. It's interesting how these senses always kind of stir up inside of me. Even as I'm talking about it now, I can be brought back to that moment right now. And I was, and to some extent now, am deeply influenced by that time of year, by this time of year, and the place that it has in the cycle of the year. The cycle of the year, as you guys know, plays a significant part in our lives. The calendar and our experiences in it heighten our senses, don't they? This is the reason that the very first commandment for every Jew, to every Jew that God offers to every person is in this week's Torah portion, Exodus chapter 12. In fact, it states, "This month shall mark for you the beginning of all months." The instant The very moment that the Israelites are freed from slavery, God raises their consciousness by demanding a calendar be created. It shall not only be spring, but it shall be a time of freedom. It shall not only be summer, but the time in which we receive Torah. It's not just autumn to the Jewish people, but also a time for spiritual house cleaning. Winter's not just about a winter break and some food. It's a time to increase the light in the world. Our Jewish calendar uses our senses and our experience to develop our consciousness and awareness of the world that each and every one of us lives in. Our interactions with the world, and you're often, and right now, you're interacting with the world, with the air that you breathe, with the food that you eat, and even the seasons that we experience with the cool weather, the hot weather. Tomorrow, God forbid, tomorrow rain until after 2 o'clock, please God. But we experience these things. The seasons we experience are observed in our holidays and in our calendars. The time is now to allow the calendar to increase our awareness of our lives. With this in mind, I just wanted to bring up that today is a very special day in Hasidic circles. Today on Shabbat 10, or the 10th of Shvat, upon the passing of the 6th Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, of righteous memory, who was truly the previous Rebbe, leader of the Chabad, passed on to Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, or who we understand as the Rebbe, the power of the Rebbehood. The Rebbe was reluctant to take on the leadership of Lubavitch. He was reluctant to take on the leadership. He didn't want that. He didn't want to take on that great responsibility. He actually, in many ways, didn't feel that he was worthy of such a position. Interestingly enough, it took exactly 1 year, an entire cycle of a calendar, for him to take on the leadership, an entire year. This implies, at least so I see the way our calendar is, that it implies a consciousness and an awareness of the holy work that each and every one of us, not just one person, is responsible for. May we all reflect not just each and every day, and not reflect on the past few months that have happened or the few months that will come before us, but may we take a moment to look at the tune and the phases and the cycle and the callings of each day within a year, because it was created for that. We are part of a much larger whole. I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. We rise on page 118 for Elena.
Everybody singing? Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula le'otzer b'reshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz u'moshe b'karov b'shamayim mimha'al u'shvinatu zo Begave meromin, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatu betorato, v'yadata hayom, v'hashevota el levadecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim. Hashamayim mimhal, ve'al haaretz mitachat einod.
For sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever, and it has been foretold the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, ki Adonai echad, u'shemo
I'd like to ask those who are mourning or in a state of, or who are observing Yortzeit or a state of mourning, please remain standing. May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us so to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, may we enrich the lives we touch. May we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify the God's name and the hallowed words of the Kaddish, which can be found on page 124. This week's Yortzites: Belle Daly, grandmother of Paul Blailer; Shirley House, mother of Ronald House; Gabriel Ivazov, father of Sarah Friedman; Saul Marks, uncle of Lori Rimlin Bond; Jacob Adato, father of Chagit Masowitz; Nathan Goldberg, father of Seth Goldberg; Molly Tobias, mother of Elaine Nathan; Norm Kane, father-in-law of Lauren Kane. Again, the mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 124. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'amad divrah chirutei, be'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'galav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbam v'rach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar vitale vitalal shemei dukudsha bruchu laela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbamin shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Say shalom ben Romav huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the heights, grant us harmony and peace here for us, for all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say, Amen.
Rabbi, if I may,
again,
one second.
Sure.
Phil, come here. So today is Rob and Phil's birthday. So I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to wish them a happy birthday, because we already did. So yes, it is their birthday the same day, amazingly enough. And this weekend, Parshat Bo, is the anniversary of my bar mitzvah and Robin Phil's bar mitzvah, and also Rabbi House's son Sam's bar mitzvah. We all celebrated the same Torah portion at the same day. So I wanted to wish them happy birthday publicly. Well, on the same day every year, right? So anyway, all yours, Rabbi.
Yeah, and now Stanley enters into your little crew there. So welcome, Stanley, to the Cohen crew of Parshat Bo, a really special Parsha. So join us tomorrow as we hear Stanley read this portion. We now conclude our service with Kiddush, which can be found on page 90. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'ratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim, l'chaim. Let me go ahead and unmute everyone so we have an opportunity to wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom lekulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.